notification. So, am I live? Or is it memories? Hello, everyone. It is officially 11 a.m. on Tuesday, December 7th. Welcome to the Teevee Marketing Show Live. I'm Teevee, your host, local marketing consultant, run an agency here in Dallas, and today we will be talking about websites. Yay or nay in 2020? How important are they? Are they still important? Are they viable? Are you wasting your money by having one designed? And if you have one, should you redesign it? All those answers to those questions coming shortly. But first, I have a little bit of news for you. A few weeks ago, I talked about YouTube, new YouTube rules kicking into place. And now, as of yesterday, they're in place. The rules went into effect. If you have a YouTube channel, you should have received some type of email from them. I did on my personal channels, multiple channels that I manage as well. Got this email from them saying that the new rules were in place. What are those new rules? Well, go check out the email for specific details, but it just basically relates to child protections, making sure that if you're targeting children in your videos, you're identifying yourself as such. If you have videos that are like, hey, you got kids in your videos and then you're trying to pull in kids to actually view them, there's specific rules around that, and I think you can still do it, but there's rules. They're going to take away features that you have in YouTube that will for them because they don't want them to be too engaged or to be taken for granted and misused. They're trying to protect the children. They got into a lot of trouble with the FCC last year, paid some big hefty fines, and thus create these rules. So even if you're not targeting children, you still need to go check your YouTube channel, log in, and you have to check off a few things and basically say if you are creating videos for children or not. With every video or at the channel level, you need to identify your channel as such. But go check out that email, and if you didn't get it, go to your YouTube channel, log in, and you should get some type of notification saying that you need to kind of be compliant and check off these things. All right. That's it in terms of big news for right now. Just go do that. All right. So back to the original subject at hand. Websites. Are they needed now in 2020, especially since you can basically create a Facebook page like that and thus have, in essence, a mini website. They give you features to be able to buy and sell stuff within Facebook, create services, schedule. They allow you to do a lot of things effortlessly, which is fantastic. And the reason for that is because they want to keep everyone inside the Facebook ecosystem. They want to make sure that you are spending as much time on site. It's in their best interest that you spend more and more time on the site, on their platform site. It's hard to say site for me because it's much bigger than a website as far as Facebook is concerned. But they want to make sure that you're spending as much time on there, because the more time you spend on there, that means the more ads they can show you, right? So in this era where that is possible, why do you need a website? Are they now irrelevant and unnecessary? No. So I'll cut to the chase right away. No, they're not. You absolutely need a website, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Because I did want to cover one more thing as it relates to Facebook. They actually have some ad products that I love, that once again make it easy to stay on the page, so you don't have to click out to go to your website to do this, that, or the other. You can stay on their platform. They make it effortless. I'm having trouble with that word. They make it effortless to stay on the site, stay on Facebook. It's a great experience. It doesn't take long to load at all. You can basically build a mini landing page, and we'll talk about landing pages shortly. A landing page explaining the service that you may be advertising for, a video, and all the key information. And then you can ask for a lead, submit your information for this coupon or this discount, this special. And they make it so easy. I love it. It's cost effective is the biggest thing. If you keep people on Facebook, it's actually much more cost effective to do so. But having said that, you still need a website. You need your own platform that you own. And that's the key. You own it, because no matter what platforms you choose to use, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. You need to have your own platform, basically, that you control. Let's call it a hub, where everything that is you, your content, or your information lives. And on top of that, and a key piece to this is it's another property that you own. So if people search for your brand name, if you've been in business a while or you do a fantastic job of marketing and networking and whatnot, it is a property that you own. Who knows what can happen with Facebook, with YouTube, with all these platforms, um, whether they're here in a few years. They're not going away most likely, but there'll be versions of themselves. But what if they change the rules and all of a sudden they decide to do something that kicks you off of the platform or it becomes less and less effective for you? Well, you need to have your own website, which you absolutely own. Don't take it for granted that you have all the Facebook gives you that ability to create all this stuff, and I love them for it. But at the end of the day, they're trying to make money. If they can figure out a way to monetize more or whatnot, rules are changing all the time because rules have to change and compliance depending on what niche you're in. You need to have a website. Please don't think that you don't. Let's see what I had it here. Make sure that you keep that website up to date. If you add content, some of the videos that you create over in Facebook, embed them into your website, some of the content that you're producing, put it on your website. One of the best things about that is because it's more content than Google can use to index you for relevant topics around your niche. You want to make sure that Google is being fed as well, that monster that's Google, so their search engine can index you and they can then show you for relevant results. That's not a quick, I was about to say quick. That's a surefire way to start generating traffic from another source outside of Facebook. Facebook, especially because it is in many cases they don't rank too many things. They do rank your Facebook page for your brand. I see that a lot, but I don't see too many other Facebook pages or any other content outside of those that are ranked for things. Google wants other kind of properties. They're not going to rank that. So use that opportunity to grab that content that you may already be creating for Facebook and put it on your website. Create a blog, update it, keep it up to date because there's more content that they then can index. You become very Google friendly. They start loving you because they want more and more content to index for them. Much like Facebook, Facebook wants to keep you there so they can have more time on their Facebook platform to show you more ads. Well, Google wants your content to index so you can be relevant, and they can show their end users, their users, more ads. That's how they stay relevant. So they need your content. So kind of feed both monsters. Yes, have a website. I mentioned that it becomes another property you can rank for your brand, and I want to make sure that sticks in your brain. We talked about that last week in terms of your brand, owning your brand. Your website should be one of the top results for your name, for your company name, for your brand name. It should always be one of the top results, and the best way to do that is to have a website. Okay, let's move on. At the very least, it should be a one page website. And on that one page, if designed well or not, as long as you have a website, you can have all the relevant information that you need until you're ready to really blow it up. At least have that one page and make sure you have all the useful information that they need. And this is where we're going to get move into what should be on the website. We know, yes, you need a website in 2020 and moving forward. But what else needs to be on there? For some people, it's basically just a big business card. It's on their business card. This is myname.com or whatever. But it is a valuable way to start sharing information that your client may be looking for, may need. I visit too many client websites. Hey, people, all three Z's. Where was I going with that? I got distracted with my three people. I visit way too many business websites that, for lack of a better description, look like they were designed in the 90s. And sometimes I think they were designed in the 90s. They legitimately look like Dreamweaver websites that were designed and templated out. And that's one, obviously, the aesthetic look and having a graphic appeal to it. But they still have everything all over the place. So let's talk about What did I just do? Ooh, no, that's not what I want to do. Pardon me. What did I just do? Ooh, what is that? Oh crap! I'm not turning that off because I can't figure out how to unsize it. Anyways, so one of the biggest things that I'll share as far as the websites are concerned is if you have a business, make sure that your phone number is somewhere at the top. That by far is the biggest sin and mistake that a lot of websites have. For some reason, even if they got designed by really good designers and a lot of money was spent on them, for some reason, the designers they're not thinking about marketing. They're thinking about making sure that the website is pretty, it's laid out well. But for some reason, they don't even think about putting the phone number or a way to contact you easily and readily available somewhere at the top. And maybe you don't run a local business. Maybe you have some type of e-commerce or online training of some sort. Make sure you have some way to contact you or some way to move on to the next step somewhere at the top. The most important real estate on your website will be what we in the marketing world call above the fold. Before you start scrolling, all that space at the very top is the absolute most important real estate because that's where you're going to have the 3 to 5 seconds, 5 if you're lucky. You have that attention span for them to actually engage and try to figure out, for one, are they in the right place? Is this where they meant to go? Is this what they needed? Did they click on Google because you ranked for something or for your brand, and they want to know that they're in the right place? So in those 3 to 5 seconds above the fold, before they start scrolling, you need to be there. You need to use that space well. So what do we have there? We have to have the number. We have to have, ideally, you have a video of yourself, of your business, where you're explaining what you do, who you are, and you capture those. You basically get their attention, you grab them, and you introduce yourself, and hopefully make them fall in love with you and reaffirm the fact that, yes, they're in the right place, and yes, you can help them, and here is how, right? So a video will then increase your watch time and increase the amount of time that they're spending on the site. On average, clients' websites that I look at, when I look at their analytics, if you don't have Google Analytics, which is an absolutely free product to use, installed on your website, go do that. Google Analytics is not a platform, but a product from Google that allows you to, that you can embed on your, install on your website, that then will track people's usage and activity on your website, where they go, what pages they're visiting, how long they're on the site. Time on site is an important statistic because if they're bouncing within 2-3 seconds, then you know that the content you have on your website, especially wherever they land, the homepage probably, it's not engaging. They're bouncing. You don't want that. So having a video in place will help ensure that they stay a little longer and maximize that time that they're on that site. If you're spending a lot of time networking and a lot of time handing out business cards and doing all these things, and then people visit your website and they immediately leave, that's feedback. Use that to figure out what you need to change on your website, because it should be, and this is something very important, it should be an employee that's working for you, and welcoming people to your world, right? Introducing them to your platform, to your channels, to everything, to your content, and making sure that it's working for you, even if the person finds you at 3 o'clock in the morning as they're trying to find a solution to a problem. So capturing their intention and holding it is critical. You're doing all this work. Make sure that your website is working for you and not against you. It's not just there, it's blah. Okay? Use a video. Make sure you have contact information readily available. About. So on that one page or on the website itself, you need to have an about page. The number 2 on average, the number 2 most visited page on almost every website will be the about page. So don't take that page for granted. Make sure that your about page really shares something. I mean, you can keep it generic, like we help our customers fix this problem. About should be a little more in depth, a little more about you and why you do what you do. Why did you choose to be an attorney helping divorce? Why did you choose to be a divorce attorney? Why did you choose to be a chiropractor? Why is that important? If it's a good story, if your why is pretty good, share that. Share a little bit about yourself so that way they can, once again, get to know you a little better. It builds that relationship. You're no longer a stranger that they just happen to stumble upon. You become someone that they can see themselves being helped by. So the about page, make sure that it's meaty, it's got something good there. Um, in an ideal world, every page should have its own video. I'm working on that myself. My current website does, but I want to update them. It should have like, hey, thanks for visiting my about page. Let me tell you about myself. Let me tell you why I opened this business, why I continue to do what I do, who I'm helping, why I help them, and what it does for me as well as what I can do for you. Um, a video would be great, but obviously if you could write all that out, do that. Number 2 most visited page is your about page. Use it, leverage it. Um, I've mentioned the phone number. Make sure it's there. And I say this because it's like mind-boggling. I've been to websites where they're like nobody ever calls me from the website. Their phone number's in the footer somewhere the footer. Make it easy to see. If they have to scroll to get to it, you lost them. You're going to lose people. As it is, the stat as of a couple years ago, over 90% of people, hey girl, over 90% of people that visit a website, 95 actually, will do nothing and bounce. That's actually another statistic within the Google Analytics. It's called the bounce rate. Thank you. The bounce rate is within Google Analytics, it's the percentage of people that visit your website that leave. So they land on a page, let's say the home page, and they don't visit a secondary page. They bounce. So if it's 90, 95%, it's pretty average. Then you're not engaging them in a good way for them to. I'm not sure what you're. Oh, I must have tagged some people. Um, Thank you, Cindy. By the way, if I didn't already say that. If you have a 90% and above bounce rate, and they don't at least check your about page, or they check out your services or your testimonials, then you literally have lost them as soon as they land on the website, and now you're in an uphill battle. Then what's the point of this, right? But knowing that statistic is important. Maybe you thought you had a great website design, but you go check out your analytics, and the bounce rate is, well, one, maybe your time on site is 2 or 3 seconds. Then the bounce rate is also going to be stupid high. So you need to start looking at ways, knowing that, you need to start looking at ways to make sure that you're giving the information that they need. Chances are it may be too blah. In some cases, and this is another big one, there's way too much information. Nobody will read all the content that some people put on their website, especially the homepage. Um, you need to give them bite-sized bits of information. So don't put so much that it's like people have like this overload, like I'm out of here, right? I can't help but think of that SpongeBob me, like I'm out of here, I'm out. Don't do that. Make sure that the content is chunked in little bites and pieces for them to be able to say, okay, this is for me, this is related to me. Oh, that's useful. Oh, wow. Testimonials. Have what testimonials do. If you go to my www.rockstar.marketing, you'll actually see that. It's pretty much testimonials on the homepage. Have some of that. So it's like all this is to help persuade them to continue visiting the website and ultimately call you, visit you, use you. Okay. Address, also very useful. They want to make sure that you are local, that they can indeed help you. Sorry. That they can help you. Have an address, especially if you're a local business, a chiropractor, a dentist, a lawyer, a baker, any local business, they want to make sure that your address, like, okay, yes, they can help me. They're right up the street. This is all relevant, viable information. I touched on testimonials. If you have testimonials and reviews, lay it in there. Put it in your website. Testimonials are important because nobody wants to feel like they're your first customer or your first client, right? They don't want to feel like you're the first person that they're going to help, that you're going to assist. So if you can immediately start sharing testimonials and reviews of people that have worked with you, it's like, okay, it makes them feel better, more comfortable, more like, hey, this person can actually help me. And if it's something useful, like I mentioned this in the testimonial episode a couple of weeks ago, or that was last week, the testimonials and credibility episode, the trust episode, I believe I called it. Where was it going with that? Oh, so if the testimonials within the homepage, within the page, answer questions for that people that for people answer the questions that are already in people's minds for the regular consumer. It's usually the same things. Is it too expensive? Is he kind? Is he generous? Is he good at what he does? Um, is he affordable? So if the testimonials can possibly answer those questions, they're basically already removing the objections. So that's like a strategic way to leverage your testimonials. And going back to last week's episode, if you can, the people who review you, if you can kind of prompt them like, hey, if you can please include any objections you had before you came to me, or fears that you had, then you can use that testimonial to answer those questions for the individuals that are now visiting your website. Whew. That was a mouthful. All right, testimonials, use them. Blog. Depending on how much content you're creating, you should have a blog. Maybe some of you, I have attorneys right now that I work with that have I say no, but very limited content because they're too busy running their business. So for them, although I do have a client that I'm about to work with right now who says that she wants to create regular content. Genius. Perfect. That's what we need in this world. We need consistent content that's talking about relevant topics as they're occurring right now. Sharing information, sharing tips that they can use. Hey, how y'all doing? Seems like I have a crowd today. Thank you for tagging people. So yes, make sure you're creating content and you're sharing it on your blog. Basically, it's just, for those that may not know, it's just an ongoing stream of kind of like the OG of news feeds. You would create content, post it there. You create more content, you post it, and it just kind of feeds from newest to oldest. And it's still relevant now. It's a great way for you to share your expertise. Don't underestimate the value of that. Especially if you're already creating content on Facebook, and I alluded to this earlier, if you're already creating content on Facebook, on Instagram, post that content back on your website. It then feeds the Google machine because there's content related to your niche and your city, your industry, right? You need to feed the machine. You need to feed that monster because they can feed you traffic and traffic of people that actually are looking for what you offer. A key part to that, as far as the blog is concerned, because Google for the most part needs content, they need words. So write something together related to whatever you're talking about, and if possible, make it something that people might be searching for. Divorce attorney in Dallas. You write that in the actual content, because they're not going to rank you for anything if you're not actually writing about it. If you're not typing and it's not in your content, they'll never rank you for photographer in Dallas if you never actually mention it in your article. Those words have to be in there. So when you do post that content and you do post that video, it has to be some words written to feed Google. That's what they index for the most part. So that's that. I mentioned this earlier. Install Google Analytics. That's absolutely important. If you have no way of tracking what people are doing on your website, then it's like being in a dark room. You don't know what's what. You're literally are clueless as to what's happening. You're throwing content out into your website, and you're creating a website. Maybe you're even pushing traffic to it through some type of advertising, and you don't know what they're doing. So Google Analytics, and it's free. Install it on your website, and that will give you the intelligence, the information you need to make changes as needed. Because the facts are, you don't know until people actually start engaging or not engaging with your website. Google Analytics is incredibly useful, and I already talked about why. I mean, some of the ways that they actually are helpful. So the next question. So what if you're just getting started and you can't necessarily afford a website, or you have a certain amount of budget and you want to just make sure that it's being used most effectively? In those instances, depending on if you're just getting starting out, yeah, go ahead and start that Facebook page. Go ahead and start that Instagram page and start posting stuff and creating an audience. But as soon as you can, go create a website that you can push them to. Once again, if something crazy happens and Instagram shuts down tomorrow, or they change the rules, or Facebook shuts down, where are they going to find you? Do you have a relationship? And I forgot to add this. You can also make sure to have like a newsletter feature that people can subscribe to on your website. So that way you're adding them to your network. You basically own that platform. You own that list. There's an old marketers thing that we used to love to say is the money is in that list. The money is in that audience. And Facebook, it's the audience, and Instagram is that audience. But you can own your own audience, that list, by adding them to your newsletter. So this goes back to your website, right? But as soon as you can, like I work with people that didn't have websites, and I encourage them not to yet, because they had a few $1,000s, 5,000, 10,000, but they knew that was it, and they wanted to make it to spend it the best way possible. So my strategy at that time, and this actually did this with an attorney client of mine. She opened up a new office, and she said, "Do I need to build a website?" I said, "Well, let's do this." Let's go ahead and build a business, build that office through the marketing. We're going to create a landing page to push people to, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. And just push traffic, create an audience and an awareness for your business or your practice in that area, and build it and build it and build it. And we did. We've been working together for almost 2 years, and I completely forgot. I just circled back around to her about 3 or 4 months ago, and we're working on a website now, because I started looking at the numbers and people are Googling her, and so she needs to have a website that actually explains more of what she does as she's being Googled. She's become, the brand for that office has become Googleable. Your brand becomes something that's being searched, so you need to have your website up there, as I mentioned earlier. But I told her to save a few $1,000s that she can then dump into the ads and paying me to help her. Let's work on that, and then circle back around when there's revenue coming in. And it's a viable strategy if you know that you're limited and you have some choices to make. And you can create what's called a landing page, especially, so this goes right into ads, which I always talk about and promote. Say for this, in this instance with my attorney, it could be anybody. You have a product or service that you're selling. You can create an ad and then push them to your landing page. In essence, a landing page is just a web page with all the crap pulled off of it. And when I say crap, that's probably a misspeaking. It's probably kind of a bad thing to say. What I mean is there's no navigation in most instances on the landing page. There's no buttons, no Facebook, Instagram links to bounce out. In this world that we live in today, we're very click happy. We're like, and we're also, our attention span is limited. So if you have an ad and you're promoting a service, you push them over to a landing page. You push them over to a landing page with just the information that you need them to know about that particular product or service you're promoting. In many cases, the reason that many business owners really fail or think that ads don't work, I see this all the time. Let's say Google ads. I have attorneys and I keep using attorneys because I work with them primarily, but this is true for everybody. I'll look at their ads. They're trying to run them themselves. And then when the individual clicks on the ad, if they perhaps are interested, it goes to their regular website. And that's a problem, because if it goes to their website, it's just a general website of all the services you have and everything that you do. And now you're not on topic. You're everywhere. And that person feels confused. They bounce. What you need to do is be able to have a landing page where they click on the ad and say it's divorce attorney in San Antonio, and they land on a landing page that speaks to divorce attorneys in San Antonio. I am a divorce attorney in San Antonio. I can help you. I've been around this long. This is what my other client did. Right? And they're not landing on a page that has divorce, criminal, all this information, because now you're not relevant. Now you're off topic, and now they feel confused and they leave. And this is in any business. Make sure that if you're running ads, that they land on a page with just the information that is needed. And this is what I did for that client before we ended up starting to design a full-blown website. You can do that and still not have a complete website for now, right? That's why you can get away with it. So make sure you can bootstrap it. You don't need to have a full-blown website. If you already have a website now and you need to redesign it and bring it up to date and remove all the noise, maybe perhaps you have way too much content, way too much information, it's overkill. And you're trying to decide whether to redesign it or should you spend it in marketing. I will always say spend it in marketing and create a landing page. Because in my opinion, if you can use that money to create more business, and still give a great experience with a landing page, then I would do that. And then with that money that the revenue you create, go spend it on the website. Then go invest it, because once again, like we talked earlier, it is an employee. It needs to look good. It needs to look sharp. It needs to have all the relevant information needed, as we talked about. But if it means creating money, if you're going to spend money on your website, a couple thousand that you could spend in your marketing and advertising to create more revenue, well, then I'll think I'll do that first. Okay, I do that with a lot of my clients who have full-blown websites, and I look at them and like, create a landing page, and it's a quick way to get up and running and be able to promote your business, promote that service, that offer, create revenue, create audience, and grow. Okay. Let's see here. Another reason that websites are important and landing pages and all that is I'm guilty of this myself, and I have this kidspassion.com, which is a dance website and dance side passion project I have. I forgot that I had a website, and I was promoting, creating content, and staying on Facebook, staying on Instagram, and like, wait, I have a website. And people were finding it. It was great, and people creating leads out of it. But I forgot. I get so wrapped up in creating content that I needed to post it on my blog and push people to my website. And in doing so, and this is the lesson here, the point here, when you create a website and you create content, push them to your website from time to time. Push them to the content on the website as opposed to just keeping them on Facebook, keeping them on YouTube. Push them there, because then they become a much better prospect for you. They took an additional step. Obviously, the content needs to be rich. The audience needs to trust you, because that's an added step. Okay, he's taking me off of Facebook. But if you have a good relationship with them, you've given them valuable content that is engaging, that's fun, that's informative, post it on your website. When you have a new blog post, a new article, a new video, post it there and have them bounce there. It took that extra step, because then what that allows you to do, it obviously will then kind of filter them down a little bit, push them down the funnel of awareness, and maybe getting them to where they eventually buy something from you. Now, while they're there, this is another strategy. If you've installed the Facebook Pixel, YouTube Pixel, but mainly the Facebook Pixel in this scenario, what that is basically a piece of code you install on your website that will add them to an audience, a custom audience. So it's a different audience. You can create an audience on Facebook for ads, and I promote this like to the moon, because people are wasting their time and they're not creating audiences and using Facebook to its maximum potential. Where's it going with that? Oh, you can create an audience on Facebook for people that are engaging with your content. So if they're liking, commenting, sharing, you can create an audience for them, so that way you can come back to them. They're your hottest little audience on Facebook. You can also create an audience for people that visit your website, visit certain pages, visit the landing page, and you can create an audience of those individuals. So then when they go back to Facebook, there you are with more content that's related to whatever they may have been looking at. It's creating this ongoing conversation. Your website is an integral part of that. And some of the hotter even clients and prospects in your audience are going to be individuals that visited that website, that engage with 2 or 3 pages, right? They stayed on the site a certain amount of time. So it adds another step and another hoop that they kind of jump through. It's just clicking to your website, but they're engaging with the content there. Viable, incredibly important way to grow your audience, grow your audience and the trust that you're going to build via more content. Retargeting, real quick, if I haven't, for those that don't know, retargeting and remarketing, Google calls it remarketing. It's the basic practice of being able to get back in front of individuals that have engaged with your content, with your website, with you, the brand, So specifically, if I spend $1 on Facebook and they engage with a video or they visit my website, I can then add them to an audience. And because I know they did this activity, specifically back to my dance stuff, um, I have an audience of all the people that have shown interest in coming to my events. So I can get back in front of them with every single event now, even if they never came, but they showed interest. That's important. So that allows me to continue a conversation with them. That money, that dollar that I spent last year is still paying dividends now, because now I can create an audience. I can keep marketing to them and showing my ads and showing my content. And the same thing with your website. You can create an audience and keep showing them your ads, show them a testimonial video. Hey, have you seen this post? Hey, can I help you? Like, it can be that direct. Like, I noticed you visited my website. How can I help you today? Do you have any questions? Did I miss something? Feel free to reach out to me. Blah. That's it. That's powerful. And it's an ongoing conversation. I don't even know where I'm at in time right now. What am I? I'm going to continue. I have a few more things. If you don't have a Google My Business page and you are a local business that services people locally, go get one. The Google My Business is basically the listing within Google, the business listing. It's also tied into the Google Maps. If you search for like divorce attorney, whatever, or photographers in Dallas, or those relevant local businesses, Google figures out that it's obviously local, so it's going to pull up the maps. The Google My Business is a part of that, and you ideally should be in there, right? It's a little tough, but at the same time, depending on the niche and the industry, you could show up there. The reason I bring that up is that ties back to your Google, your website page. So make sure that it's a hub. Your website is a hub from which Google comes in, Facebook comes in, YouTube comes in. Everybody comes to your website. So don't underestimate the power and the use of it, the power of it, and use it and design it accordingly. I talked about running ads. Options. So if you don't have a website, there are some. I'm not sure how affordable, but I know there's Weebly and there's Wix. I'm not a big fan of them because they limit the features, and then and Google Analytics is kind of tough. Advertising is tough. Making sure you install all the proper stuff to make sure to retarget them. The Facebook Pixel, the Google Pixel, it's all kind of tough. But if you're in a bind and you know you want a website and want to go get it up, Weebly and Wix are very powerful options. And at least you have a presence. And as you're able to grow, then you can update it to something. I personally use WordPress for everything. All my websites that I design, they have free templates and free themes that you can use to get up and running. There's affordable ways to go about it, but that's my preferred way. And I know there's another one that I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm thinking of it. If I remember, I'll include it in the description in the show notes. So there's options for people that are strapped for cash right now and do want to put one up. Look into those, but you are going to be limited with the marketing aspect. So that. Final thoughts. Get a website as soon as you can, even if it's one page. So when it's related, it's tied into your domain, to your brand. So people will search for your brand. They'll find that, and at least you can share the most valuable information at that point in time that you can share based on the design. But get it, and then build from there. If you're absolutely cash strapped, then go the Facebook route. But know that you're going to need a website, and make sure that if you work with a designer, as you're just trying to design it yourself, that it has these basic marketing. Shopify, Squarespace, that's what it is. Thank you, Derek. Squarespace has some incredible templates and pretty affordable. And you can look elegant like right out of the bat because they design it really. They make it really easy for you to plug in your most valuable information, the most relevant information to create a client. And Shopify for those that have e-commerce stores and they're trying to sell stuff. Shopify is incredibly powerful because it has you can actually do credit processing. You can basically do everything on there, and it's a great way to get up and running if you have products that you're selling and you're going to be shipping or whatnot. Thanks, Derek. I was drawing a blank. But the most important thing to remember when you do build it is have those important elements in place. Otherwise, even if you pay somebody thousands and thousands of dollars and it's pretty, then ultimately they're not going to buy from you because you don't have what they need right away. Make it quick, make it something that they remember, make it the number, whatever you want them to do, it's somewhere at the top. You have to deliver that right out of the bat, or else they're going to bounce because we're in a hurry. We're all in a hurry, and if you're not hitting us and telling us right away why we need to stick around, we're gone. All right. Having said that, that's it for today. I appreciate all of you that tuned in. How many? I can't tell. What happened to my number? There it is. 5 of you. Oh, damn. I'm blowing up, y'all. It's been a long day. It's been a long morning and a long night. Anyways, have a great day. I appreciate you for showing up. Tune in next week at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. I think I'm going to be talking about retargeting, ideas around there, because there's so many ways to chop it up to where you can get back in front. And I spoke about it, alluded to it a little earlier. Retargeting and remarketing to people that are engaged with your brand already, if you've been around a while, is one of the quickest ways to start scaling up. If you're already been in business for a while, you have people visiting your website, or you have an audience on Facebook, you need to create an audience to be able to get back in front of them. If you don't have a Facebook page, get one. That's a whole another topic, and I want to share that with the dancing community. Get a Facebook page, because then you can use all these tools and really grow and strategically and not be limited to the 5,000 friends on that you have, as if people use just the Facebook profile as their business entity, or the way they talk to the world as a business. That's it for today. And remember, if you're in business and you're not marketing effectively and consistently every single day, every single week, are you really in business? Take care. My name is Teevee. My name is Teevee the Marketer, and bye-bye.